All right, so we're ready for a little fun and games time. So we're going to talk a little bit about why we moved into more of a mobile and social environment, what sort of things you want to look at, how you want to think about approaching that, why you might want to do it, and look at some of what those results have been for us. You might think about a couple of the trends that we see going on. What we're seeing is games are getting more and more accessible. There's a ton of growth going on. One of the reasons is because of the accessibility. You no longer have to drive somewhere to play a game or drive somewhere to buy a game or be tethered to your computer and purchase or play a game in that environment. One of the big revolutions has really been, anytime, anywhere gaming. When you want to play, it's accessible to you. Second piece is product complexity, where the games have become less complex, enabling a broader range of people to be interested in engaging and, in fact, to play those games. Anything from the complexity of the software itself to the devices used for input, the complexity has been reduced, thus significantly growing the market. The next trend we look at is reduction in payment friction. First of all, you remember we used to fill out all these big, long forms to buy things. Amazon, major breakthrough with one-click payments. Facebook introduced frictionless payments in the last month or so, which we've adopted in our new game on Facebook. It's just amazing. You click, you buy, it's there. It's frictionless. Second piece is cost of entry. Price points have come down from $20 to $50 to over $100 to the 99 cents to $4.99 to free. Can't reduce friction much more than free. So big changes. Third piece is growth in platforms. So Facebook clearly growing very, very rapidly. When we look at iPhone, we think it's important for developers to look at combining the iTouch numbers in within the iPhone when evaluating how big the market is, because anybody who can play a game on an iPhone can play it on the iTouch, and so you can combine those markets together. Android certainly has been the massive growth story of the last year. And these growth numbers, especially on the iPhone and on Android, are forecasted to continue, maybe not at 1,000% again year over year, but very, very rapid growth. So what do you do when you're running a startup? You want to go where there's opportunities. So we get in our wagon and we're off to the races and pursuing where there's growth opportunity. So in the world of Diner Dash, everything is related to a hamburger, so I will use a hamburger analogy moving forward in talking about how we get from here to there. So Diner Dash, to take a specific example, is a time management game. In the world of games, the mechanic is the meat, and that's what we got to be true to as we look at taking this game to other platforms. The bun, the tasty wrapper are really the characters and the story that make it this soft, squishy experience that you enjoy engaging in. And it's really the special toppings that you want to evaluate that really make it native to the platform and serve up that juicy burger that customers want to consume. So how do we start from a time management standpoint? The key in time management is really making time-based choices where you're trading off various activities to maximize your score. In the world of Diner Dash, you are seating customers, taking their orders, filling their orders, giving them their bills, taking their money, clearing their tables, and doing all that before they give up on you because you're so darn slow that they leave the diner. So this is an example when Diner Dash first launched in 2004, basic time management. Again, they have a waitress servicing the table. As we look to our most recent incarnation of the PC game, you can see there's still a set of tables, still the basic same gameplay, but much richer experience, right? So the core time management grind is there, but the graphics, the different environments, much richer to meet with the consumer's expectations as things move forward. This is the game on the iPhone. So again, you see the core same set of tables. You have to pay attention to a little bit of different issues in this environment. The screen size is different. You have to be careful for hot touch points and whatnot from a graphics perspective, but it's still the same core time management grind. And on the iPad. Again, taking the same notion, being true to what consumers are expecting, being true to the game mechanic, but livening it up, freshening it up, and being true to some of the devices. But the key piece here is the mechanic is consistent all the way through. And this is the most recent incarnation of bringing the game to Facebook. Pretty consistent, true to the game. All right, now let's take a look at when we look at stories and character. So here, so again, time management, the mechanic we don't want to mess with too much. We want to evolve it. Same thing with characters and story. People fall in love with characters. This is Flo. She's a leading lady in Diner Dash. Everybody wants to be like Flo. She can do it. She can do anything. And you can see how she evolves from when she was first incarnation in the game back in 2004 up to 2009, updating of the character. And what you see are some things that make, although her look changes and it gets more modern, she retains some core elements. She's always got the ponytail. Ponytail means, I'm here, and the rolled up sleeves, I'm here to work. I'm no nonsense, but she's got these big eyes. I'm kind of friendly. I'm an approachable kind of person. I've got the apron on, and I've got my fast sneakers, which enables me to run around the restaurant and do the things that I need to do. Some consistent elements, but updating the style over time to keep it fresh and meeting customers' needs of what they're seeing and playing elsewhere. We've also developed the characters in the story. When Dash first launched in 2004, there were a set of different characters who'd come into the restaurant. It helps keep the game interesting as different characters have different behaviors in the game. By the time we get to 2011, there's an explosion of characters. Again, trying to keeping it interesting, engaging consumers in the stories, in the different characters, and continuing to grow that over time. And then the piece around the special product toppings. So this is the piece. I think there's being true to the game, to the brand, and what customers expect, evolving, modernizing it over time. But when somebody's going out and they're buying an iPhone or they're buying an iPad, they're buying those devices because they really like the features and functionalities of those devices. And so their expectations set when they're buying applications on those devices is that those applications will be making use of the features on the device. And so we feel it's very important when moving to a platform to be taking advantage of those things. In addition to what I described before about moving to the iPhone, we've got to be careful of the graphics and how close together items are from a touching standpoint. The other piece that's evolved is really from a business model perspective. So on the iPhone, in-app purchases have become more popular. So here's also an example of beyond simply making some of the updates on the game and the screen, sizing everything, is including this notion of in-app purchase. So we introduced a meta map, and you can see a couple of examples here which are thematically driven around holiday periods. So you want an extra set of levels around Halloween time, you can play the Spooky Saloon, or you can go to the Sweetheart Cafe at Valentine's, and continuing to add content for consumers who are engaged in the game over time is something that the iPhone really enables and allows, and actually has recently been introduced on the Android as well. When we look at the game on the iPad, one of the things that's interesting on the iPad is there are 11 touch points. I don't know about you, but I got 10 fingers, so what do you do with 11 touch points? Well, it must mean that I can play it with somebody else, which is one of the great things about the iPad, and part of that vision is that notion that two people might actually be engaged at the same time playing a game on the same device. And so one of the things that we launched is the Touch Cooker 3000 trademark, so that two people can play the game. You can, of course, both seat and manage the tables as you would normally, but with the Touch Cooker, one person can cook and speed up the cooking process while the other is playing the core game, thus taking advantage of the real features of the platform. And moving on to Facebook, again, there's the core time management piece, but the storyline on Facebook is that you and your friends get together and build up the Dinertown Park, restore it to its original beauty and glory, and then as you do that, more restaurants, more businesses will open up around Dinertown Park, so you have more play capacity, more levels, more experience to play as you move along in the game. So bring in the social element of getting your friends together, of the doll housing, of the showing off, that's relevant for the platform. How has this worked? Diner Dash has been a top player on the key platforms as we've migrated it to over time. And so we think that the strategy and being true to that has been successful with the game. Diner Dash has had over 500 million downloads since its incarnation, so it is a brand that we certainly guard and are very careful with in how we move it across. And the result of this has been that Diner Dash has been rated one of the 7th most popular game of all time. So thank you for your time, and hope that helps.